Both my parents voted for Trump, and I'm adopted, so both my parents are white. And I also have a Chinese sister who's also adopted. And I'm going to tell you guys what their viewpoint of all of this is. I was just telling my mom how Trump is doing this mass deportation, and I'm telling her that, people who are citizens, veterans, are getting accused of being illegal aliens. And she's saying, and her defense is that, oh, well, he's trying to get rid of the people who are raping and killing people, as if our citizens don't do that already, and what are we doing about that? The common misconception is that these Trump supporters are stupid, which I don't fully disagree with, but my parents are smart. My mom used to work for the government, and she used to work on radar defense systems, and my dad used to be a tech consultant for healthcare companies. My mom is also involved in the stock market. Now you're probably wondering, why would they vote for a orange man that hates their children, right? I don't have the answer for that. My family and I, we don't talk politics, and my sister's to the point where she wants to move out the country, which I don't blame her. It's honestly very weird growing up with white parents during this time, and with Trump now being in office. Anytime I tell them anything that's going on, they don't believe me, or they just don't want to have the conversation. My sister and I have been trying to tell my mom what he's been doing with the abortions, and she's like basically telling us that, well, would you rather have money and be set for life, or worry about stuff like that? Being an Asian American and being adopted by white people, I don't want to bash my parents. They're amazing people. They'll fight for my rights any day, but I just don't think they realize the extent of the freedom we're losing with this man being in office. I'm not gonna lie, my Coinbase account has been going up since he's been the office, but that's the only good thing that's been going on, and I know that that's rooted in deep capitalism and the 9-to-5 people who can't even afford a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't do these type of videos. I've never really spoken out about political issues. This is my first TikTok account, and I don't really post on Instagram as well, but I just wanted to come on here to show you guys that although I love my parents, people with adopted children from other countries, they're still blinded, unfortunately, and this is just the relationship that I'm gonna have with my parents, and they're in their 70s, they're not gonna change their mind. People don't change at this point of their life, so yeah, we don't talk about politics.
Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's Ndagire here. Thanks for clicking on this video. So this is quite interesting, and mostly because I'm this person that is always talking about these minority groups when they mostly come into spaces of people that look like me. The way they act, you may think they are the almighty on this planet. And I usually tell you this, guys, the way, to my experience, I would say people of color, just to put them together, the way they see and treat African or black people, or the way they see black people, is worse today than the way white people actually treat black people or see black people. And you can hate me for that. You can be like, oh, you're changing sides. But let me tell you guys, those people, when they go in spaces where there are black people, you'll be shocked. So really seeing that they are also facing the consequences because they felt they were safer and closer to the palmed people, and felt like they were in a good space that nobody or nothing could touch them, and they're facing the consequences of their votes, is wild. And honestly, I am reaching a point where I'm like, okay, you shouldn't even feel sorry for these people when they come on the internet and complain about their vote or the things that they actually wanted to be in place, because they mostly felt and thought all the consequences are mostly going to be affecting mostly black people. Let's say it as it is. These people palmed, and these other minority groups, when they went into this voting thing, everything in their minds was all about, we are closer to the palm people. I mean, we came here with, H1 visas, we came here through adoption, we came here through green cards, and all those things, like we got scholarships. So that made them feel safer and feel like they were more accepted, and also because they are given kind of more opportunities or given a little bit of grace by them people. They feel like, oh, nothing is going to happen to them, and so they chose to vote for this person that is in power. But unfortunately, they are also starting to feel the heat, because it's been on Mexicans, guys. It's been on Latinos. It's been on the Arabs have also been facing engaging with what Trump is trying to do with Gaza. That's another video for another day. It's been happening to Africans. Like, yeah, I've shared videos where Africans are also getting deported. Like, it's really a mess. It's really a mess. Looking at them as Asians, now realizing that, hey, wait a minute, we are actually not seen as better, and that is a problem. They just can't understand how or why this is happening to them, but they are still the same people that voted for this being to be in the seat that he is holding and doing whatever that he wants, because he has every right to, and his right as him. I've had people call him the orange man, which is like kind of insulting. Like, really, is that even necessary? He doesn't care. The only thing he really cares and truly cares about is his people.
My dad is a citizen. My mom is a citizen. Recently, my dad tried to renew his driver's license online. He was denied his request, and it was just a letter, like a warning letter, saying that, oh, you are not a U.S. citizen. We suspect that you are not a U.S. citizen. My dad has been a citizen since the 80s. He has worked his entire lifetime. Still pays taxes. He has voted every single election in the 80s. Like, a lot of the people on this app weren't even born in the 80s. He was really frustrated. He had to bring his certificate of citizenship to the DMV and say, I am a US citizen. Why am I being sent this letter? And they said that, oh, I'm so sorry, that must have been sent to you accidentally. Accidentally? This is Virginia State, by the way. Accidentally? How do you accidentally send somebody that? That makes no sense. In my opinion, it's most likely because of his race and his name. It just puts everything into perspective about how they can do whatever they want. They can accuse you of whatever they want. I think about it all the time, and I think about how I'm actually not, like, considered an American to some people. Even though I was born here, I've lived here my whole life. And even if there are people like my dad who have contributed to this country, working hard, doing everything that he can to contribute to society, it's just not enough for some people. It's not right.
This may be the most important thing that I ever say. Asian Americans did not crack the code. It is that Asian Americans are white supremacy's favorite cipher where it comes to writing the fiction that white supremacy doesn't exist. Asian Americans do have the highest median household income by race in the United States, and we also have the highest wealth gap, with the highest income Asian Americans earning approximately 11 times as much as the lowest income Asian Americans. Also, Asian Americans are not the highest earners in the United States. Those individuals are white people. The logic being exercised here would be as if I took Jeff Bezos' household income and the household income of an unhoused person and used it to prove that the unhoused person has no problems because their median household income is billionaire. But the short answer to this is the Asian ethnicities that earn the most in the United States correspond to the Asian ethnicities that receive the vast majority of H-1B visas. In case your next question was, if the United States engages in so much white supremacy, why does it provide so much opportunity to immigrants in the form of H-1B visas? And it's because employers can pay employees who receive H-1B visas less than they would have to pay their non-immigrant counterparts. So it allows employers to gain access to highly skilled employees. And for the most part, immigrants who receive H-1B visas are able to earn more in the United States than they may be able to earn in their countries of origin, even if they're being paid less than their non-immigrant counterparts. Another reason why the United States does this is exactly to get people like you to ask this question. If Asian Americans seem to be doing well in the United States, that would indicate that white supremacy doesn't exist. The negative implication is if Black, Brown, Indigenous, and other people of color are not able to do as well as Asian Americans, the problem must not be white supremacy, the problem must be cultural to those demographics. However, if you look at Asian Americans who came to the United States not through high selectivity policies like H-1B visas and student visas, it becomes apparent that they do struggle with lack of equitable access to resources, and for them that has harmful outcomes very similar to the outcomes experienced by Black, Brown, Indigenous, and other people of color.
Ajma here, reading the news that there are potentially up to 150,000 Koreans in the U.S. That are vulnerable and potentially a target for deportation. And that includes adoptees. I would very much like off this timeline, but we're going to do what we can to be prepared and to be kind and to not panic, and no matter what, we shall be kind, and we shall try to do our best to do everything that is right with the universe. The arc of justice is very, very long.
Recently, I found out that Vietnamese Americans are the only Asian group in America that lean Republican. Yes, out of all the Asians, we Vietnamese Americans are Republicans. 51% of us are anyways. Not myself, sorry. But I'm not surprised because I have encountered obviously a lot of Vietnamese people in my family, just hearing around kind of Vietnamese radio and things like that, what they talk about and things like that. And yes, they're very Republican. And the crazy thing to me is this, which is that I think one of the big reasons why they became very pro-Trump is because of his stance against China. They don't like China, which I understand based on just kind of Vietnamese history and everything, right? With communism and everything. But the crazy thing to me is that when someone looks at them, when someone looks at me, they don't have some sort of scanner that tells them, oh, this one, look at his eyes. He's Vietnamese. He's not Chinese. No, fool. When they look at you, when they look at me, they just see a Chinese person, an Asian person. They don't know. They don't know the difference between us. So when they say Chinese, they actually are talking about you too, right? And let's not get even into my mom and aunts and uncles and stuff. They're always talking about how, oh my God, all this Vietnamese food is so expensive now. The prices are crazy high. Wait until the tariffs hit. You want Trump? He's going to bring those tariffs, and you think it's only for China? No, it's all your Vietnamese food. All the food that you eat, the only things you will eat. All of that stuff will double in price or quadruple or whatever the heck. And then you will see. I try to tell them this, but they will not listen. But Vietnamese Americans, get your act together. I'm just glad that hopefully the younger generation, you will change this.
Just as a quick reminder, I don't know why these people would gaslight us. And, I always say that they come on the internet because they need, of course, to connect with other people, but also to look for sympathy from the crowd. But I think in the times of COVID, when that happened, 2021, 2020, guys, we know what happened that time. They saw how they were treated. I think that should be an eye-opener, or should have been an eye-opener for them to really put themselves in a place where they are like, wait, yes, we might be given these other opportunities and be accepted, but at the end of the day, we are still seen as nothing. Because in the times of COVID, guys, these people were called the worst of things by them people. And I remember reading a lot of articles as well. I remember watching the news. I remember how everything was. But then on the other side of it, as an African, when COVID happened, the way these people were treating African people in their countries, in Asian countries, was insane. Especially in China, because I usually tell you this, African people were kicked out of hotels, schools, restaurants. Imagine even restaurants. People were kicking out African people, black people, from accessing places of food because they felt like Africans were the problem. Africans were the one that brought COVID to them Asians, when they are the ones that started the whole chaos. So it's like these other groups of people always pick on, black people or people that look like me, for them to feel like they are somehow better. And when they are into spaces, they feel like Africans and them are not in, or actually black people and them are not anywhere similar. but then forget that they are minorities when they go outside of their Asian countries. Being in America as an Asian person, you're a minority. You're not white. Okay, you might be close to the opportunities they give you, but you will still be put in your place because they see you as a minority person, as a colored, okay, let me not use colored. They see you as a person of color in their country. This entitlement and the audacity that these people have, to see especially black people as nothing, but then when situations happen and they are in need of fighting or getting a cause, be put in place. When it reaches a time when they are facing, things within their community, when they are going through something that a lot of the times African people, black people have been going through, then they come on here on these platforms and talk about how the system is unfair, how everything is unfair, how it's not okay for them to be treated in a certain way. But how do they treat black people or other groups of people? How do they see other groups of people? Do they see them as worth? So I don't even, guys, I don't really feel sorry when it comes to people of color, because to me, always I'll say it, they are the worst experience in my life. Yes, I might have friends from, certain places in Asian places, I don't deny that, I do have them. But if I'm to put it on a spectrum with the experience that I've experienced from these people and the way I've seen them treat people that look like me, insane, wild. They do not treat or see black people especially as worth anything. So when I say I'm not feeling sorry for whatever they are going through, I would rather excuse other groups of people than Asians. They are a different kind of breed. I mean, I also say with Arabs, but Asians, if you step foot into the African continent as well and see how they treat, as in general, the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Chinese, like putting them all together as Asians in one group of, setting, the way they treat African people, the way they see black people, the way they see us, if you understand it, you would start to see the reality of who they truly are. Seeing this lady that was adopted by white parents, talking about how she cannot really have conversations with her parents because they don't understand, and she can't really get through them. I get the feeling. I know how it feels like to want to talk to someone about something and they don't really get it or even put or give an ear. So I can't say that they are all evil, but on a spectrum, as I say, in general, different kind of breed. I think everyone should now really accept the consequences of their vote, feeling like you are close to whiteness and then now it's not in your benefit. Green cards are to be taken away or are able to be taken away. If you are adopted, you can still be, taken back to where I don't even know where you came from. Having citizenship, if you are a minority person in the US now, can be really stripped away from you. So nothing is really safe for anyone, and they are starting to see what black people have been telling them, like, oh yeah, you feel close to them, but the moment they snap and they are done with you, as they always do, want to use other groups of people and take credit for the things they didn't even create or do, but only brought out through torturing other groups of people and being violent and savage is somehow what these people are good at. Yeah, not generalizing, but you know what I mean. So I think everyone is now starting to see where they stand in this world of today, especially in the US. At the end of the day, them people will always choose them people. And you will be used, you'll be given money, you'll be paid. But when it comes to a time when it's about choosing, they will always choose themselves. And we are witnessing it today. The person they voted for is insanely hilarious because, he doesn't even respect them.
Ask China that question, okay? When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer. Yes, behind you, please.
Sir, why are you saying that to me specifically?
I'm telling you, I'm not saying it specifically to anybody. I'm saying it to anybody that would ask a nasty question like that.
That's not a nasty question.
Please go ahead.
Why does it matter?
Okay, anybody else? Please, go ahead in the back, please.
Yeah, that's the person that they voted for. He does not see them as anywhere close to him. He feels he's way up here, and the rest of you are just on the floor, on the ground, in the dust. So I think this should be a wake-up call for every minority group, anywhere, to understand that wherever you go, try to be a little bit humble. Try to be a little bit humble, especially these groups of people. People of color are a different kind of breed to the way they treat and see black people, African people. But they're not white. You will never be white. You will never be seen as white. And I'm sure now you're realizing it. They are realizing it. Every single day, I tell you guys, like when I watch these clips, I sometimes sit and I'm like, is this even happening? Because this can be made up. Like, this is insane. Every day I'm shocked. Actually, I'm not even shocked. Every day I'm amazed by the amounts of regrets I'm seeing come from different angles of people for this man that they thought was going to be in their benefit, and is the complete opposite of what they voted for. I mean, having someone that is using a person that they never like elected as Elon Musk to be like a speaker, even in a big setting, yeah, kind of speaks volumes. It really kind of speaks volumes. But who am I? Who am I to say anything? Who am I to add on this? Who am I? Who am I really? Guys, that is it for me in the video. Let me know what you think about this. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting. Yeah, that is it. I'll see you in another video. Bye.